Karna is something that's been, it's not someone, it's something that's been embedded in my consciousness. I can't tell you how much. I think that is mostly because of my father's work called Karna Shapatham, which is a Kathakali that he authored, and it's considered to be the greatest Kathakali authored in the 20th century, and it's been staged and enacted more than 15 or 18,000 times, and every day somewhere in the world, most definitely in Kerala for sure, every night somewhere this Kathakali play is being staged. And this story, Karna Shapatham, has caught the imagination of people on an unbelievable scale. And I've seen audiences literally crying as the story is being enacted on the stage. It's so poignant. And that, I think, is because my father was able to tell that story of Karna in simple and yet powerful metaphors and language and usage. Karna was one of those great characters in the Mahabharata, known for his generosity. Whoever came to him would never be sent back without what he came for. So he was the very embodiment of generosity. He would give himself away. And that complex and yet beautifully simple relationship between Karna and Duryodhana is something for us to really understand and get awestruck about. Now here is this evil king, Duryodhana, who by all intents and purposes is the ultimate evil force on earth, and yet he has loved Karna more than he loves himself, and has bestowed all manner of recognition and empowerment on him, on Karna. And Karna, on the other hand, also knows for sure that Duryodhana is evil in many ways. He's seen all the shenanigans perpetrated by Duryodhana and still loves him more than he loves himself. And that love is also an outgrowth of his gratitude, because when Karna was nobody, it was Duryodhana who literally picked him up and invested kingship and social acceptance and everything on him by embracing him. So Karna is eternally grateful to him. And so, on the eve of the Mahabharata war, so the story in Karna Shapatham goes. On the eve of the Mahabharata war, Karna is racked by uncertainty and disquiet, and there's something really bothering him. And so he tells his king Duryodhana that he would like to go and meditate on the banks of the Ganges and find some semblance of inner peace before embarking on this war of all wars next morning. And so Karna goes to the river bank and performs all the rites and tries to meditate, but he is simply unable to do so because something is burning up inside him. His psyche is all on fire, literally. And the question that keeps coming up into his consciousness is, am I one of those unfortunate mortals who is going to die on the battlefield tomorrow without knowing who my parents were? Am I that unfortunate human being who is destined to die without having seen or even been touched by his mother? And so this is what's really, really, really hurting him, because he knows that there are questions about his past, and he really doesn't know where he came from. He knows that Duryodhana has really embraced him in every way and made him part of the family and society and all that. So while he's being really tumbled inside and out by this question, in the distance he sees this very divine being walking towards him. And as the being comes closer and closer, he recognizes with a start that this is Kunti, the enemy's mother. This gracious, dignified embodiment of womanhood, motherly, queenly, full of grace, walking towards him, and it's the enemy's mother. And Karna is shaken up. How can he talk to the enemy's mother on the eve of the war? But having been schooled in the ancient values of respect for women and respect for elders, he gets up and pays obeisance to her and asks her why she has chosen to come to see him on the eve of the war. And of course, this is where KARNASHAPATHAM really, really captures the emotions of people. And in chaste Malayalam, my father has written all these lyrics which anyone can understand. And he's introduced innovations in music for the first time in Kathakali. The kinds of innovations that he has introduced in the musical element of KARNASHAPATHAM are a first for Kathakali. So a combination of music, innovation and simple lyrics have captured the imagination of people. That's why it's been so successful. So Kunti goes on to explain a lot of things, and finally she says, Karna, this association with Duryodhana is bad for you, and it is bad for mankind. So please come with me and join the Pandavas. And that gets Karna really angry. How dare this lady, however dignified she may be, she is the mother of my enemies, and she has the audacity to come here and tell me to forsake my life, my friend, my king, my everything, Duryodhana, to forsake him and join the enemy. And he is so angry and beset with hatred and everything. But his upbringing and his innate culture gets the better of him, and he tells Kunti that it is only your womanhood that saves you from certain death today, just now. Because I want with every fiber of my body to cut your head off with my sword. But you are a woman, a mother, like a mother to me, and so I respect you. And then Kunti says, you are generosity personified, and I'm begging you to come with me. And then he gets even more upset. Whereupon Kunti actually tells him the true story of his birth and reveals the entire truth to Karna of how she uttered these sacred mantras, and the sun god actually appeared and granted her a boon, and he was born to her. So he is actually the eldest of the 5 Pandavas, and actually it's not Pandavas, it's the 6, and Karna is the eldest brother. And this is something that hits him with the force of 1,000,000 thunderclaps, because now the entire basis of his life has been destroyed. The whole foundation on which he has built his entire life reputation is destroyed, because he is the enemy's elder brother. And so he collapses, and there are powerful lyrics there of how, he feels that the earth is going, his head is spinning and lightning has struck him and his fundamentals have been destroyed and he doesn't know what to do. He's on the floor like this, and this is when the audience is completely spellbound and completely, shell shocked, because everything he stands for is gone now. There again, these core values shine through. He then says, I can never leave my king and my friend ever. And Kunti goes after him, really. She says, but your place is with your younger brothers. You have to protect your younger brothers. How can you let me go without anything? That's when he makes this shapath, or shapatham as they say it in Malayalam, the promise. He takes an oath that, now that you've asked me something, I can't let you go without something. And he says, he takes oath that he will not live in this world with Arjuna. In other words, it's either Arjuna or him. He won't live on this planet with Arjuna. And secondly, he says, I will not touch the other brothers in the war, but I will live and fight for my king and my friend and my lord, Duryodhana. So, you see, he was prepared, and indeed he forsook his own brothers for his king and his friend, who had given him everything: gratitude, loyalty, overcame family ties and family relationships. This was one of those examples that made me take that stance when I was 17 years old, when I was prepared to lose my friendship on the basis of certain values. That's how powerful the story of Karna is. The triumph of loyalty, gratitude, friendship, all of which had made him who he was. And his point of view was very clear. Where were all these people when I needed them? Where were you, Kunti, as my mother, when I was a little infant? In fact, there is a point in this whole drama where she says, Kunti tells Karna, don't you have an ounce of daya, compassion in your heart when I'm begging you to join your brothers? He turns the question around and asks her, many, many decades ago, when you wrapped this defenseless little infant in a cloth and put him in a wicker basket and set him adrift in the river, did your heart overflow with tenderness and compassion? Because you did this to me when I was an infant. Duryodhana's brother had sent spies to follow Karna, and they reported back to the king that Karna has been talking to the enemy's mother. And that's the other story. And Duryodhana came to know that Karna had met Kunti and talked about everything, and he knew what had transpired. So when Karna goes back to the palace, Duryodhana tells him that this Dushasana has found out the truth, and he has been telling me all kinds of things about you and how you are a traitor, and I am ready to kill him. I am ready to kill Dushasana for doubting your integrity and doubting your loyalty. So you see there again the strength of Duryodhana's connect and respect for Karna. And Duryodhana tells Karna that you have my permission to leave me and join your brothers. You have my permission and you have my blessings. Go in peace. And that is Duryodhana's greatness. Even though he was the embodiment of evil, look at the beauty of that particular aspect of Duryodhana's character. He says, and Karna was his most loyal, dependable, and outstanding warrior. And he is prepared to lose him and allow him to go to his brothers. So, equally great kind of reflection on Duryodhana's character. And of course, Karna says, how dare you question my integrity, and how dare you tell me to leave you when every drop of my blood spilt in your cause is fulfilling its destiny. And Duryodhana, I promise you that I will reach Valhalla, Veeraswarga as they say, before you do, in your service. And I am forsaking my brothers for you. So that's how powerful the story is. So, therefore, the story of Karna, as told by my father, Madhav Nair Mali, in KARNASHAPATHAM, has been one of the defining influences in my life.